having as much of an impact.
Yeah, the big thing is EDG have been the team that have changed their bans. They've actually left the Twisted Fate open and said, we're not going to be the team dealing with the VODS.
Draft is over.
We're
They got it. Lee Sin's it.
We're seeing the Lee Sin priority stay true, one of the mini metas within a series. Dagda, you're looking excited about the Aphelios.
Well, it was the Aphelios, and as you said, I think the Twisted Fate, right? You can go towards both these big power picks. Now, Viper able to turn around some of these dives with the proficiency that he has in this champion, but I feel like you can go towards the TF here and still be perfectly fine.
I feel like the thing is, for either team going towards a blind pick TF, Rise is a pretty good answer into that Twisted Fate. You can still match a lot of these roams. And I mean, I agree with what Dom was saying coming out of the desk, right? This Rise has been so massive, FPX have not been able to find an answer to it just yet.
Yeah, honestly, it's getting to the point where maybe Rise is the priority over the Twisted Fate. This Thresh, though, locked in alongside the Aphelios, finally, for the first time this series.
Maybe we get the Ziggs, maybe we get this Trundle. Now, one of the things that myself and Lyric were looking at is that Crisp has been spamming Trundle in that solo queue. So if you do go towards the Ziggs, maybe get, especially when you already know you're against the Aphelios, we won't get Viper going back towards the Vayne or something like this.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Because FPX has been banning this combo all throughout playoffs, but both Lwx and Crisp have been playing them a lot in solo queue. I thought it was just a bait. Teams do that, and we do see the Ziggs coming out, you know, for the first time from FPX in playoffs, and Ziggs just sets up so nicely for playing on your top side.
But now, though, you can look towards the Twisted Fate for EDG. They can take it now, ban away things like the Rise, make sure you've got that good matchup for Scout, and you've got something, especially when you're looking towards the Ziggs, very vulnerable when he tries to push in the waves and look towards the turret.
I feel like the big thing for that strategy as well, right, is that you still have counter pick 4 top lanes, so you can not only take something like the TF, go jungle on 4, and then have a top lane counter pick on 5.
Well, it looks like they're opting towards their jungle pick here instead. The Olaf comes on through, and importantly to mention, both Jiejie and Tian have 100% win rate on Olaf this split before this series began.
Well, looking towards Doinb though, like when we're going in towards picks like this, oftentimes when he has to try and blind his mid laner, he's just falling back towards the Orianna, right? And in situations like that where you've got like the Ziggs and now you've got an Orianna, that's a heavy amount of AP that's going to be on the FPX side. So I'm not sure what we're going to get from Doinb in this situation.
Yeah, that's why I'm really curious, right? Is this one of the games where we get some of those AD bruisers coming out for him? With things like the Renekton band, we only have the Kled on the cards. You can always go for more of a facilitating mid laner, like, you know, we had the Galio, the Twisted Fate actually now banned, and, you know, maybe scrap that. We might not have any facilitating mid laners, and Doinb might having to play more of a damage role, but I agree with Dagda. I'm curious to see if an AD mid laner is able to come out. Let's just say, screw it, we don't really care, you know, opt into one of the signature Doinb picks, and, you know, just deal with it.
We'll have to wait and see what Doinb's going to go for, but just mid lane bans galore. Twisted Fate taken off the board, Rise taken off the board as well. Two of the not just signature picks of the players, but signature picks of this series so far. Kennen as well being removed from Nuguri.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, kind of from a facilitator standpoint, that maybe we do see something like the set come through for Doinb. We got a banned in that last split, our series. Maybe he actually just goes back towards that, goes towards that more bruiser-orientated style, and then tries to set up and kind of be more of like keep away for the likes of the Zig, allowing Lwx to be that big carry.
I'm curious to see what we'll go with now, right? Because mid laners have been so pinched. There really aren't too many, if at all, any priority mid laners left open. As EDG, you have some niche like options.
A Syndra, I suppose.
Things like the Syndra open, things like the Lulu, which we've seen from Scout numerous times to split, pairing with either an Olaf or a Xin Zhao. But for EDG, Flandre's champion pool is just so blind pickable. It seems like maybe they just go back to this Gnar.
One of the picks that is available that did fall out of priority, but still a potential option, is the Akali. We've seen both of these players, exceptional Akali. Maybe that could be a window.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of dropping down the list too, and we've seen Doinb actually playing a lot of it in solo queue as well. It does give you a lot of backline threat. I was trying to kind of curious to see what EDG were going to round this out with, because if you don't have a huge amount of CC for the Akali, she gets so much free time in the backline of EDG.
Well, if this is locked in, Nuguri going full Gimgoon on this one, going old school FPX.
Yeah, but still, Gangplank, you know, notoriously good against Gnar in those early levels. We hit on facilitators, only the Twisted Fate was taken away. You can opt into this. It's going to be similar to last game, in my opinion, in terms of you kind of hit hard and hit fast. You do have more sustained damage coming out from the Gangplank than you did in your last composition, but now we're looking at where EDG want to go with it. I mean, they're hovering the Sylas. I kind of expect this one to come out. Scout has just absolutely loved this pick. Yeah,
and I think you kind of need something that can facilitate, you know, that close quarter combat, because that's certainly what EDG have gone for here, right? And you want something that can provide another engage tool for them as well. Take away things like the Gangplank ultimate, toss it down on FPX, and help you close that gap with the engage that Scout, Jiejie, and even Flandre can provide.
And it feels like these drafts have become more and more tense as we've gone on. The picks are coming through slower. Feels like a lot more needs to be thought about by either team. The fact that EDG changed their strategy, opted into coming onto the red side, is a curious one. Talk to me how we're expecting these two teams to play forward, because like EDG, certainly plenty of scaling to work with. Is it going to be enough?
Yeah, the thing I'm curious about is this looks a lot more like what we expected coming into this series.
It's not just this mid lane matchup anymore. It's the mid-jungle 2v2 that is defining everything. EDG with comfort picks, with potentially counter picks as well, with this Sylas being their last pick. Maybe it's enough for them to finish this series and return to the dominance of old.
Yeah, you know, the dominance of old for both teams, right? We've seen EDG have, I mean, the longest dynasty pretty much in LPL history. FPX being part of that new era that we had in the LPL ever since IG did win Worlds, FPX and following through in the next year. But I just love that you highlighted, again, not only mid lane, but mid jungle, because once again, getting a bit of interesting runes, still the Predator on the Galio. The big thing for me, though, is we see Scout going with the Conqueror as compared to earlier when we did have a Sylas with the Fleet footwork. He knows he's going to lose too heavily in this early matchup. I want to see if he skills his abilities more for all-in and goes back to the classic W max, or if it will still be what we've seen as of late, whereas Sylas, you go 3 points Q into W for a better laning phase.
We're also seeing one of the preferences from Jiejie when he plays the Olaf, going towards the Ghost, not going towards the Flash. He definitely wants to be speeding into these lanes, trying to go aggressive in those early stages, and utilizing the fact that Ghost has such a shorter cooldown in comparison to the Flash, and abusing FPX's lanes.
Meiko and Viper stepping up for a 2v2 here. They use the sweep. They know that FPX are hanging around. And remember, Aphelios, even though he's known as this hyper late game champion, the early laning phase actually exceptionally strong thanks to the Calibrum and the lifesteal you get from that Severin. But let's talk junglers once again, champs, as we have both of them once again, fourth time in the series. He's starting on the bot side, pathing up top.
It's just kind of funny, like not even just about the pathing, right? But just looking at both drafts once again, I just see more mid-jungle 2v2. It's not even just about like the narrative or the story of the series. Just look at how the champions interact, right? And no setup on the Gangplank up in topside for Lee Sin. No setup on Gnar unless he's Mega. Sure, there's more setup in the bottom lane, but we've already hit on how when you have Ziggs, you want to play away from that. Potential for EDG to hit that lane, but still, I think for FPX, it's a lot more about play. Ooh, Flandre! Flash!
That was spicy. Nice little combo of the barrels. Forces a flash out from Flandre. We're only 2 minutes into the game.
Nice job from Nuguri. Well, I mean, if you're looking for somewhere to now put your attention, maybe that's not mid lane. You can look towards front and top lane. I think one of the big things, though, as well, is that because you've got so much crowd control on FPX's side, Viper's have to opt in towards the cleanse. You've got the TP coming through from Lwx, so certainly when we start to look towards potential Rift Terror plays, your ability to play the map, Lwx far more options.
Hook on the bottom side from Meiko. There's an ignite on Lwx. He has to flash. Crisp doing his best to save his 80 carries life, or I guess AP carries life in that bottom side. And once again, this 2v2 going away of Viper and Meiko.
And this is more of what we expected coming into the series, right? The aggressive 2v2 coming out from them. They did get control of the mid brush, which just pretty much cements their control of the laning phase. Great hook coming out from Meiko to cement that one. But for FPX, I think it is about looking up towards that top side like Dagda hit. Once you are able to burn that flash, and especially winning heavy trades, right? It doesn't even matter too much if he does lose a bit of HP himself, but another hook!
The hook coming out from Meiko. He is taking control in the bottom side of the map here, Crisp and Lwx. Forced onto their tower, and in the meantime, Tian getting a double skull.
I just love how every time we pan up to the opposite side of the map, Dagda, Meiko is just hitting these death sentences.
And it's shutting down Crisp, right? One of the things we wanted to see was Crisp roaming. Well, when you're a quarter HP trapped underneath your tower, you're not going anywhere. Maybe the fountain.
Yeah, so it's going to set up for Meiko to be the one looking for these aggressive plays. But speaking of aggressive plays, man, every time we pan over a different lane on the map, heavy trading coming out pretty much everywhere. We've seen a pretty solid dynamic cement itself, right, where FPX having solid control in both mid and top lane for EDG. It is that bottom side. With summoners down, this starts to open up some of those plays for EDG that we're hitting on about bot side.
One of the big differences for EDG in this game, though, is that like Scout not having that priority. He's pretty much had priority the entire series long. It's the reason why we've seen Rise having so much impact around the map. This is now putting him on the back foot. This, like what Dom was saying, wanting to see an FPX Classico game, this feels like the one where you can have Doinb look for these roams, be the one to try and set up some of those plays.
And that's one of the things about this mid matchup, right? Because we saw Scout pick this into the Galio pick. is he knew he was going to get pushed in early on between the passive, between the Winds of War. Doinb just will be able to constantly push us in, but Doinb doesn't really have any kill threat onto Scout, and Scout will be able to answer with those ultimates later on, like we were hitting on earlier. Again, there's so many massive ones, Cannon Barrage, Heroic Entrance, even the Leona ultimate I feel like is going to do so much trying to get on the back line of Lwx.
I'd say that was incredibly satisfying to watch. Nuguri there as Doinb getting TP'd on Meiko, flashing forward. The taunt out from Doinb. It's on to 3 of them, and Crisp is here. We wanted to see the Crisp roam, and this is the crispiest of them. But now, 3v3 going the way of EDG. Lantern out to safety. Jiejie 1v3 in this one, as in goes Tian to try and finish a kill. Nobody goes down, and it's 0-0 still at the 5:30 mark.
It's the gentleman's agreement. Everyone goes low. They're like, lads, that's hurt a little bit. Let's just back away. Yes.
Yeah, and is he going to follow it? Not going to pull the trigger for now. Wants those chickens. Smite available for both junglers, but I don't think Jiejie can move in to try and contest this one.
Yeah, and I feel like there's just really no consistent burst on either side this early on, unless it is coming from the jungle roll. But I need to stop because FPX trying to transfer this up the top side.
You know, I was thinking this was going to be a bit of a slower early game. It was feeling that way. FPX, they're bored. They want to make things happen, and it's a dive onto Flandre. Not Gnar just yet. Taunt going to come on through. Stops him in his tracks, and Doinb's the mid laner to start it off this time around.
Stupid sexy Flandre. No one in FPX can resist him in that top lane. He falls to 4 members of FPX. And now Lwx.
Meiko cannot miss. Every single hook going his way, and now Viper comes in. Lwx gets himself under the tower, but Viper flashes forward. Graviton hovering on. There's the root. Can they find the finish off? The Cannon Barrage coming out to try and protect Lwx. There's no minions underneath the turret, but they're out of range. The bomb goes wide from Meiko. Nice little bit of footwork there as Viper closes the gap. Lwx, it was a Valiant. Oh, he gets the kill. Satchel charge away from Viper. Can he keep him at bay? Viper surely finishes this one off in the end. Solo kill, I guess, technically. In the meantime, a Drake is happening.
Yeah, so we see again the split map coming out because sure, EDG are getting the Drake. Look at your mini map though. Both Tian and Doinb are hovering around this top side. Looks like Flandre, paying the respect he needs, is also about to turn Mega, does have that ultimate available. But again, these teams are just going toe for toe on opposite sides.
Look, it's game 4. We said FPX were looking tired. Things are getting a bit weird in this now. And I mean, the kill going back to Lwx is a big play there. The fact you managed to turn that around is huge. And now, though, Jiejie stealing away the red buff as Crisp walks right past him.
Jiejie, secret agent here in enemy territory. Looks like he's going to get away with it, though.
Yep, looks like he should just be fine. And Crisp, okay, luckily not going to be in an awkward position with the fact that Jiejie's going to go for that recall. Or is he Munchables? Okay.
No, Tian.
Yep. No, he's just going to be just fine. But even going back to that bottom side play, because this was a conversation I was having with both you gents over the past few days about wanting to see more 2v1 dives happening in bot lane. This is something I think LEC as a region have done incredibly well in playoffs, is that when you see so many of these plays made up towards that top side to look for these plays, but between the Cannon Barrage, between, again, it being a Ziggs, and Ziggs just being such an obnoxious champion, between the amount of zone control, poke, even mobility from his W, it is just ridiculous. Does get the passive hit on his auto attack to come out, lands the Q, and then sure, he goes down in the end, but he should have gone down anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, look, he kind of goes down gracefully, but even Nuguri had reset there with a potential to go bot side, even if things had gone a bit awry.
And you know, we started that one off by complimenting Meiko, how he's not missed the hook this entire laning phase. He's the one that goes down. No assist, by the way. That was technically a solo kill for Viper, as Meiko, unfortunately, not going down. But the key thing is Lwx denying 150 gold by not having an assist.
Yeah, I feel like definitely massive denying that 150 gold from going down. But now when we've been talking about EDG playing down towards that bottom side from their bottom lane, having this push just pretty much over and over again, they are able to rotate their bottom lane first. We see Lwx though going to have so much free time down with that bottom side turret. With FPX consciously not playing towards it, Herald, I'd love to see them start walking into EDG's bottom side jungle.
We see this so often when you've got something like that Ziggs, where you're just like, well, I'm just going to push and you're just going to take your turret plates anyway and be totally fine. And it looks like that's going to be the plan from FPX now, especially when they don't have the teleport. You are fully committed to playing around this bottom side, as I can see a Tian looking for a play.
Yeah, certainly could be fishing in this bottom side of the map. Scout is under the tower, as it's on 3 plates remaining. Remember, Ziggs can take that tower down from the last 1.25 plates, but with Meiko and Scout here, looks like FPX not going to pull the trigger on a play just yet. Jiejie moving over. Tian really wants to go for this blue buff, but I'm not sure he's going to be allowed to. Takes the blue buff. Can he get away? Scout will not find a way in. It looks like he might even get a Scuttlecrab.
Yeah, I think it's really fortunate for the side of FPX because I think they started making their rotation down towards the bottom half of the map a little bit too late. you know, easy to say, LPL have not been the biggest fans of going for these Herald per turret trades. Pretty much all of our teams just love fighting for that Rift Herald on the top half of the map. Sure, you're able to get, you know, a bit of gold into LWX's pocket. You got a blue buff, but I feel like FPX definitely could have gotten more had they pulled the trigger sooner. Now EDG not only still in a pretty decent spot, are a little bit of gold behind, but they at least have the Rift Herald.
So I want to take a second here and kind of recap what's been going on so far this game, because it's important to mention that this has easily been the quietest game of the series so far, and that is massively favoring FPX. Even though they haven't been getting tons of kills, they're 2,500 gold up just off of smart map play.
Yeah, I mean, smart map play, you're getting the lanes going in their favor as well, right? Great counter pick in the top lane coming through for Nuguri. He's up after burning that initial flash. You're getting the plates going on bot side. Now, it will even up a little bit when you do get this Rift Herald play eventually, but it's a lot of them just punishing the better priority lanes that they have on FPX.
And I feel like it's just the fact of, again, one of these teams being able and willing to pick up the Ziggs. Both teams have just been so afraid of this pick and the amount of map control that it offers.
I will also say, from FPX's side of things, we thought, hey, look, you know, this is the game where we can have Doinb roam. This is the game where we can have him make some plays, but he actually really hasn't had those opportunities to do so yet.
This Herald now going to go to the mid lane while plates are already taken on the bottom side by FPX, and this is the power of the Ziggs that we're talking about. Torn from Doinb. He started 2v1 in the mid lane, but Tian moving in to try and help him out. That's the Dragon Rage into the loving arms of Nuguri. FPX with a beautiful pick.
Just great combo coming out. Doinb knows that both his top and jungler are on their way. Also, just massive props to Nuguri. Not many top laners are going to look for those plays to help win out somewhere else on the map. Is going to lose looked out about only 3 CS or so not too big of a deal for him. Still going to pick up everything, and just FPX's top side doing wonders so far.
Yeah, and you get that early Oblivion Orb now for Doinb off of these 2 kills as well. He's going to have a ton of pressure into this mid lane, and we can catch the replay, right? Like, he's totally fine to go in aggressively here, knowing that you have Tian coming down, Nuguri moving as well. And it's just really nice that you're getting this kick straight into Nuguri, so he gets even more gold for himself, accelerate this Gangplank, and get him into that position where he can just blow up EDG.
Yeah, and I feel like the massive thing that we've gone to in this mid game, right, is the fact that with Mythics coming out, looks like EDG want to set something up on top side, but I think Nuguri should be fine. The big thing for me is FPX can just send so many members top. Because we're at Mythics, LWX can pretty much just solo clear waves at this point, and it's enabling for Chris to constantly move. Flandre
sidesteps the knockback, does not get stunned. TP in from Doinb here. Maybe the 2v2 can go the way of the solo laners from FPX. Flashes come on out. Flandre out to safety. Meiko trying to get the lantern there for Viper while a reverse play happens here from FPX. Nobody ends up going down.
Fancy footwork on both sides, keeps opposite sides of the map alive for both these squads. And now, though, FPX can turn over towards the Dragon. You still have that ultimate from Doinb if you ever try to make a play here for EDG.
That's the thing, right? Is FPX have not only been having some nice control of topside early on, but they're also the team that is able to start stacking these Drakes. EDG, of course, didn't get the first one, but still, for FPX, this is still a pretty early second Drake, so I don't think it hurts all that much. We are going to be on Infernal Rift as we see a bit of a replay in the bottom corner of Crisp looking to start this one off, and was really scrappy between the AD carries, but Lantern saving grace once again.
You gotta respect Viper, right? Going that aggressive there. He's like, look, if you're gonna try kill by spot, I'm just gonna kill your Ziggs. It's as simple as that. Important to mention, you know, with the Heralds going the way that they have been, that LWX on this Ziggs, if they can set up a potential dive or just threaten Viper away from the tower, that tower will go down, but they've only got 30 seconds.
Yeah, but there's 2 moves that you can make. Now, I don't know if they'll end up getting any more of these turret plates, but in about 1.5 to 2 minutes time, you're going to have the next Rift Herald, right? You have LWX with that TP as well. You can either play off that bot side or just have LWX stick down there, have him teleport to the play and outnumber EDG at these next objectives. You have so many opportunities here for FPX to play off of these globals that we've been talking about.
That's the big thing, right? Is LWX, I feel like, just offers so much versatility, but we need to stop talking about it because Tian goes in.
Oh, this dive at the top side. Doinb gonna come in with the Grand Heroes entrance, whichever one it is. Now under the tower they go, and it is immaculate from FPX.
Just great dive coming out from them. They are not letting Flandre play the game this time around. Gonna open up the map, but EDG looking for this dive again, but it's a Ziggs, boys!
Can't dive the Ziggs, the Satchel charge, just flips
Oh,
off
no.
the hook.
Oh,
Meiko goes down! LWX, that was unbelievable.
How do you do it twice? How do you try and go for the same play and not learn from the first time? He just has more items. It's easier to clear the wave.
You know, and I thought we were getting a bit ahead of ourselves when we said, hey, EDG fans are sweating a little bit. But after seeing this, it is looking pretty
Absolute
rough for the
buckets
side.
now.
Yeah, for the side of EDG. Doinb massive 2-0-2. We're going to go straight into the replay of the top side play. Again, Sonic Wages have not missed at all so far in this series. It sets up for Doinb to come in. Instant burst coming out from him, and Nuguri didn't even need to do all too much. It did look like he hit one barrel chain, but not even having the ultimate available. And I mean, Dagda, what is he doing?
Like, the thing about Thresh as well, right? You're not a tank champ. Like, a lot of people kind of think, oh yeah, well, you know, you got a little bit of help in the tank. You just don't. You are going to go down so fast.
Tian wants a 1v1 with the enemy top laner right here. Flandre turns Mega. A bit of a whiff coming out from the Everfrost. It's not going to matter, though. Doinb getting himself a kill. And finally in this series, we get to see Doinb winning this mid lane roam-off.
Yeah, Doinb once again bringing out the Predator Galio, doing so well, linking up with Tian. And even just the timing of this play is so perfect, right? Herald back on the map. They're already asserting some wards into the top side jungle. So should be able to guarantee this one. You could tell EDG not in a place to contest by the fact that even Meiko, still down in bottom side, is going to start channeling his recall now. But FPX can just keep going.
You don't get to do anything.
Yeah, you just end up ulting the Gangplank to our bot side, and there you go. It's just completely gone. And the thing is, look at where Ziggs is as well. Lwx now shoving in the mid lane, and with these turret plates gone, he can take this alongside Crisp.
Just what a beautiful use of global so far, right?
Yeah.
FPX have just been doing such a good job of showing you how to play the map when you have all these tools available.
And that's been one of the big things for this team as well. They've been insane at using globals towards their advantages, getting pushes and setting up the map in their favor.
I'm just saying, this is like German efficiency coming out from FPX right now, because they are 7-1 up against what's looking a little bit Brazilian here from EDG. Viper getting real low to a Mega Inferno bomb on the bottom side, and still cannot finish that tower. He has been down there trying to finish that tower for hours at this point.
Yeah, there's just no way, right? FPX just have so many tools to deny them on this play. And now for FPX, they can start making their way down to, you know, shifting their control down towards that bottom half. Now not having two of those globals up, I think does hurt, does give EDG a little breathing room. But as those come up, I think as FPX right now, start going back to pushing that mid lane with the Ziggs, start playing out from your mid jungle 2v2 through bot side, and just cementing some vision control down on the bottom half of the map for the Dragon coming up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, and it feels like if you are in that position, FPX have so much control, right? You already have 2 items complete on your Gangplank. You're about to get a second towards the likes of Tian. You are so far accelerated here, and then you just end up having this situation where you're kind of doomed if you do, damned if you don't for EDG. You engage, you are engaging into Doinb, into Lwx, who are so far ahead. If you run away, well, there's Gangplank ult.
That's the big thing, right? They're not only walking in, but if FPX can get this control of vision bot side, you are walking into barrels. You're walking into the bombs coming out from Ziggs. Not a good time as EDG's composition to walk in, especially if Flandre doesn't have Mega Gnar. You're relying on Jiejie to be the one to face check because he does have the Ragnarok, but still Olaf gets chunked out. It feels like a lot of EDG's, again, early mid-game damage is out the window, and FPX would just be in pristine position for a free drink.
Oh, Gangplank ulti comes on in. Satchel Charge will not deny the Lantern, though. Viper will at least survive, but it's a tower taken in the mid lane. A Herald in the bottom side as well. Talk comes out from Doinb. In goes Tian. They will be able to survive, at least for the time being. Jiejie using that Ragnarok to keep himself safe. But now FPX, they grab themselves yet another tower. This is just perfect play.
And that's what I was going to say about Jiejie, right? Unfortunately for this Olaf, you're kind of past your expiration date at this stage. There isn't very much that you can do against the composition that FPX have come out. Too much poke, no real way of engaging. You don't have the team to follow up on top of you. And it means that you are kind of banking on this Ghost working out in the early stages to get the plays and get the advantage. Now that you're behind 8,000 gold and less than 20 minutes into the game, you're just not going to have a good time.
And the bonus, like, insult to injury on that Ghost point is that you can't even go for a Miracle Steal because Jack got the flash, so you can't even get into the pit. It's not a great situation to be Jiejie right
It
now.
feels like for EDG, right, all their hopes are going to be resting on Scout or Viper, finding some insane team fights later on, but it's going to be hard from what me and Dagda were talking about earlier, that if FPX are able to get into an area first and have control, for EDG just so hard to walk in. Now, the no Dragon up for 4 minutes, we're still a little bit away from Baron. I expect us to have a little bit of breathing room.
And you know, chaps, like yesterday we went walking around in Dublin and we saw this giant body of water, and I, for a mistaken second, thought that that was Doinb's champion pool. It wasn't. It was the buckets of sweat coming from EDG fans in this series.
Oh no.
Because it is starting to get real scary. EDG historically has never beaten FPX in a best of 5, and now here in the finals they got 2 games back to back, and we could well be going to 5. It's not over just yet. It is not over just yet, but there's still a long way to go, and it would be a reverse sweep for FPX if they got this win. And Last time EDG managed to get a win, it was a reverse sweep for them over RNG. Now into the mid lane, go FPX. I dared go for a narrative point. That always sparks the action here in the LPL. As FPX sieging in the mid lane, looking to take down some towers. Solar Flare going in. The bomb comes through, and Meiko is down. Flandre off on the flank here, trying to find his Mega Gnar, trying to find his presence in this game at all. FPX just barreling in through the mid lane here, and EDG desperately trying to scrap to survive in this game. We are just 20 minutes in, and FPX are bashing down these Nexus towers. Viper goes to the Moonlight Vigil. He's trying to close the gap to Lwx, but he just can't get in. Tian Lee's gone too deep, but Gore Drinker exists, somehow surviving. Oh my days, I thought he was going to get a kill. Okay, FPX retreat.
They went a little bit too far there. They do end up giving Tian over his life, but they've cracked open the base. And, I mean, Meiko, you've been caught afoul of this Ziggs so many times. They've been able to push in so effectively. And the wave clear on EDG side, it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's just not exactly there for them. And I think it's a bit of a, silver lining for the side of EDG. It sucks that they lost their inhibitor because now Baron's up, so FPX can try and, use that to cement vision in topside jungle and get that objective. But at least now you have minions and gold funneling into Viper's pocket to set him up to be a big carry threat if they can last that long, because, man, it's just been so dominant so far.
And look, Meiko throws the hook, and it's like, oh, you've CC'd yourself. Thank you so much. We're all just going to jump in on top of you. And it's a pile drive in towards the mid lane. Now, look, Tian does go that little bit too far and giving over a kill, but you're still in a great spot as FPX. And as you said there, like, one of the worst things for EDG is trying to push into these objective fights when you don't have vision. I mean, that push in mid lane, as you said, it's going to give full control towards FPX around Baron, and they can do so much damage around that objective.
I do want to say, right, objectives are cool, control's awesome, and I love Tian with the mental game, just saying, hey, I can style on you, but FPX now looking for one of the patented FPX Barons.
They just want to end this game. Remember, Jiejie, no flash. It would have to be Meiko Spider-Manning in and bringing him on a lantern, but Baron down to 4,000 already. Doinb just playing distraction. In goes Meiko. There's the Spider-Man play. The bomb goes.
Oh my God!
That's it! No way do EDG pull that one off. Meiko, after the roughest game he's had this series, somehow makes the miracle happen.
It was a heroic play from Meiko. Nice from Jiejie. They find the steal. They still lose 2 members, though, but man, with these super minions, these Baron out minions coming out, I don't know if FPX can actually look for anything, but this is going back and forth. Both teams playing for their survival.
And that would have been a disaster if FPX got that Baron.
Yeah.
We just said how terrible their wave clear is. Add Baron buff on top of that, you are doomed as EDG. That steal, though, keeps their hopes alive in this game.
And really crucially, Infernal Drake coming up in 40 seconds. We've got to check in on that after the replay.
Yeah, we're going to see here, right, Doinb trying to do a nice job of zoning them off the pit. Still has to get away, but the hook into the lantern comes through. Ragnarok coming out. We're just going to see here, yeah, bomb. They're trying to burst it down. FPX is doing a pretty decent job of at least utilizing all their tools possible, but just a clutch might from Jiejie in the end.
Yeah, Mega Mind Munchables over here. Calls it before it even happens. The Spider-Man play in, but as you said, 15 seconds now until the Dragon. This is going to be the 3rd potential Dragon coming through for FPX, and when you look at the control that they have right now, the push that they have, it feels very difficult for EDG to try and contest this.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? It's super nice EDG got Baron, especially for the fact that, right, it denies FPX from being able to end the game. They've gotten themselves an additional 800 gold since picking that one up, but it really just buys them more time. FPX still definitely being in the team in control, not only in gold, but in terms of how they're able to play out through the map. Now the fact that they are on soul points is going to put a lot of pressure onto EDG to walking into them, to looking for these fights. And we're going to see how FPX can keep playing the map, right? Because as the map gets smaller and there's less objectives to take, you're still in control, but there's less like creative or cheeky map plays you can make. You rely on EDG coming out of their base and walking into you.
And like you say, right, EDG now on a timer. You thought Ziggs bombs and Gangplank barrels did a lot of damage before. Try with an Infernal Assault. That is a team wipe off of 1 barrel right there. Feels like FPX still very much in control despite this.
And you are getting to a stage now as well, when you look at the items that are coming through for Lwx, that you can almost like one-shot the likes of this Aphelios. So Viper has to be so careful about where he positions, especially if you don't have flash, you don't have cleanse. You are in a very precarious situation.
It's one of those things, right, where we're not only just Lwx, but even just, Ziggs ultimate combined with the Cannon Barrage coming out from the Gangplank, you're going to be so low of HP. Then just 1 bomb hits from Lwx, or Tian can find a Sonic Wave in, someone just instantly gone.
So I'm gonna do the play-by-play thing here.
Okay.
Chaps. is it doomed, right? Because we have to talk EDG. They are still on match point. The game has not ended. They got a miracle still. They're making things happen here. Viper getting close to 3 items on the Aphelios, which arguably one of the best scaling champions in the entire game. What has to happen for this team to come back?
I feel like for EDG, it's going to be quite hard just for the fact that, again, they just have so many minions to deal with on the bottom half of the map. Ideally, what you would want to do is just try and funnel in through one lane, mid or bot, try and find a corridor to walk in your jungle, start asserting some dominance, getting some vision down, so you can actually look to contest the side of FPX. You still do have a lot of burst and damage coming out from both Viper and Scout, and as long as Flandre does have Mega, you have the CC to set all that up.
Yeah, and especially if you get the vision down, maybe you can look for some sort of TP play for Flandre, get that flank, get that big setup, because as I said, if you can get them onto FPX, that's where you're most dangerous.
But they
it's just so difficult to do it.
They can't get on the map.
Yeah, there's no way out of the base right now. It's FPX. Feels like they're closing in on all sides. You can see Doinb pushing out that top wave, but I think FPX gonna go for a reset here, just trying to make sure they're getting all of the resources off of the map, taking the jungle away as well, just starving EDG out. And now that that inhib has spawned once again, means that there is no supers pushing in the mid lane. No extra gold for Viper to sweep up. But the siege continues at this bottom side as Doinb TP to the mid lane. Flandre, importantly, currently Mega Gnar, no TP, and he's up at the top side.
Yeah, so Flandre not really going to be able to be part of any fight that happens still. I think it'd be quite hard for FPX to look for any sort of turret dive in bottom side. Maybe they can try and force a play onto mid, but with all summoners up, even then, at most, you're probably forcing out summoners for the upcoming dragon fight, which actually wouldn't be too bad for FPX.
And for FPX, you're fine to play the slow, right? You're the ones with the poke, you're the ones with the range, you're the ones that have the Infernal Soul in 2 minutes. Play this slow. Don't give EDG that chance to come back into it.
You're the ones that are 1 Ziggs auto away from an inhibitor in the mid lane here. LWX staying on the bottom side. Meiko gets a hook. In come the bombs. Tian low on HP. Has to flash over the wall. The Moonlight Vigil comes in from Viper. Maybe this is the moment. Meiko finds the hook. Flash force and FPX in full retreat.
Yeah, and sadly, it's not at the timing where Dragon would be up and EDG can try and turn that into some bigger objective, but right, they just keep buying themselves more breathing room. They keep buying themselves more time to get more items onto Viper, and Viper already sitting on the thread mark with the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, and he's got every kill that EDG have right now. That is the guy you need to be looking at, but Tian, Meiko, with the heat-seeking hooks right now, manages to pick him off. You get the Gravitum coming in from Viper as well to hold him in place. And from this point forward, it's flashes galore, which are pretty key to be down before this next dragon fight.
Meiko is just like, his score doesn't look that good this game, but he has made every single hero play for EDG this entire game. Spider-Manning Jiejie into the Baron Pit, finding 2 perfect hooks during that fight as well. Now it's going to be 1 tower for EDG in that mid lane. They still have a long way to go. They're still, 5,000-6,000 gold down. But hey, finding something crucial.
Those flashes being down, though, could be that. The fact that you now have the opportunity to potentially close the gap on towards LWX when Flandre has his own flash, Scout has flash. Even if you can get on towards picks like Nuguri as well, it makes things a hell of a lot easier. So EDG now have the tools if they can just find that moment.
So Drake coming up in 30 seconds, chaps, and it's FPX on Infernal Soul point, but it feels like everyone's posturing around the top side right now.
It looks like FPX might be like, hey, we don't have to control bottom half of the map after what just happened. We're going to play up towards this Baron. You're not going to be able to play towards this Dragon, and we're also going to try and bait a fight in the meantime.
Can Meiko do it again? That's the question. FPX just going to peel away for the time being. Not willing to go for a 50-50, and hey, they got a TP out of the play. They're happy with it.
I feel like you're going to have that TP coming through anyway, right? You want EDG to be grouped up, and right now, you have no vision around this bottom side. This is where you can deny that opportunity for FPX to come in, but as we said, they aren't interested in that. They're just going to go straight back for Baron.
Yeah, FPX just playing this balancing act, right? Okay, we're going to go to the Baron, we're going to get pushed off by EDG. They're going to make their way down towards bottom half river and keep looking for this. They do have engaged. Doinb finds a taunt.
That's a taunt, that's an Everfrost. It's a solar flare, and it's a bomb! Down goes Meiko again, and Tian wants a little bit more. Jiejie dodges the Sonic Wave. A Scout desperately trying to play peel for his jungler. Could be in trouble himself here if they're not careful. Flandre as well retreating. But EDG, they're retreating to the wrong side of the map at this point. Flandre about to turn Mega. Keep your eyes on him. Tian goes for the 1v1. Hero's entrance in to try and protect the jungler as well. Doinb on the back line. In comes Flandre, but the stopwatch has come on through. Flandre with a huge Gnar ultimate. Maybe this is it. But FPX still firing out.
Viper!
In goes Viper! Turning it around! No! Way!
What? How does Viper do it? How did he manage to triple kill at the most crucial point of the game?
And the fact that and he's playing so aggressively, using the Gale Force to go in. We've seen it all series long. Viper is afraid of no one.
Viper is without a doubt the best AD carry in the league, and he proves it here in the final.
Yeah, and we're gonna see here going straight into the replay, right? FPX found the picks. They set this one up by just killing Meiko, but EDG playing such a good job. We see Flandre about to turn Mega. Isn't able to CC that many members down, but you still find the initial pick. But look at Viper. He's left untouched. Already picked up the first kill. Gale forces to go in. Has the burst. Crescendum Severum. The most sustained in DPS you can have. Just takes them all down.
What a play from Viper. And that was what we're saying. Watch Viper. This guy is every kill.
Oh my lord.
Oh my god. That's insane. But that's what he said. He had every kill on EDG. Everything was resting on his shoulders. And once more, when EDG need him, it's Viper who steps up to the table.
And it goes back to the point, right? We were talking all game long about, man, if EDG have to walk into FPX, if EDG have to walk into FPX, it's so bad. But luckily for them, FPX were running into them, allowing for the Aphelios to kite it out. And EDG fans, not sweating, not crying anymore. They're still down in gold. But in terms of pressure and map control, this game feels even.
Look, we always talk about how the EDG fans are the faithful, right? Put your faith in Viper right now. 6-0-1. 4 items, a QSS picked up. Crucially though, no summoner spells. If Crisp could get onto him, if Tian can get onto him, that's the window for FPX. But Viper, he's a one-man arm.
Yeah, Viper just being so insane this time around. But hey, we might get another dance once again. Viper might get another chance to show off these mechanics because FPX just keep defaulting back to that Baron.
The big thing though is that those flashes that we talked about in the last fight are now all back up. Lwx has the opportunity to get away from things. Same with Nuguri. Finding that miracle play once more is going to be so much more difficult.
And look at EDG's flashes now, right? I mean, Viper no summoner, Scout no flash as well. Flan, like, it's going to be so hard to either play around the CC and the abilities FPX has or make some of the aggressive plays that you just made.
FPX cannot flounder now. They need this win to keep the series alive. They were the ones that snowballed this game. For the first time in the series, they got the early lead. They were up 7,000-8,000 gold earlier on. But EDG have closed that gap to just 4,000 or 5,000. And Viper is the man of the hour for EDG fans. FPX, they're floundering. They're not sure what to do next to keep this game going in their favor.
They're just trying to find any sort of inlet here for FPX, but they're doing such a good job of keeping them at bay, especially as Flandre is trying to play this balancing act with the Mega Gnar. With minions now on the way, he can start to build that up again, but that Rage Bar is so difficult to manage in these tense situations.
Yeah, and you can see EDG are just so afraid of an engage coming on through. That's why they're not playing side lanes, but Leona ultimate is used.
And off to the side, Crisp on this front line here. Can they find a pick? EDG with a cannon barrage of their own. And FPX once again retreating. EDG take control of the situation, and actually, they can move up to the Baron pit themselves.
And that's pretty big for FPX, so that they managed to avoid that, because that's when you're most dangerous, right? You got Scout, who's got the opportunity to get in with the cannon barrage, try and slow down FPX, allow for people like Flandre to close the gap, but they can't do it. Now FPX returning with those TPs for Lwx, getting back onto the map and ready to fight against EDG.
Drake isn't up for another minute and a half, by the way. This is a dad salt.
No one cares anymore. No one cares.
So I feel like the big thing here is maybe I gotta come down, Doinb trying to fight his way.
Oh, Jiejie gets taunted up, has to use the Ragnarok, half his health already gone, but he does survive.
Yeah, is able to get away. FPX now gonna be able to turn this into river control once again. But for EDG, right, I think they're the team that has more of the 131 coming out with like 2 comfortable side laners. Compared to FPX, where you only have the GP Galio definitely wanting to be around the team, I think EDG are afraid of putting resources in side lanes because FPX will be so decisive and find and engage.
Yeah, especially if you've got that cannon barrage.
Oh Nuguri! No way! The Poison Snake strikes again! Viper finding the miracle moments time and time again!
This just Viper did. Like, this guy's a monster. He was kind of complaining at the start of the split that he didn't have enough MVPs. Guess who's going to get it if EDG win?
Yeah, EDG are trying to force this fight. Flandre not going to be mega soon, though.
We're in the pit right now. Flandre about to turn into that mini Gnar. And remember, Lwx on the Ziggs, he's so good at pushing you off a Baron.
Dragon is up in 30 seconds as well, so you need to try and reset here quickly as EDG. Nuguri will be up. They're trying to stop the backs.
They're trying to stop the recalls. Bombs coming on in. That will be 2 recalls completed, but that means 3 members of EDG could be left alone in the world here. Tian wants to go for the flank, won't find it. EDG get their recess, FPX beelining to the Drake.
Yep, I think FPX are making the right choice, right? Trying to run to the complete other side of the map. make sure that EDG can't get the resets off as we do go straight into the pro view of what happened. Nice barrel coming out from him. Does have the sniper rifle. Just ridiculous, right? 4 item Aphelios.
It was so smart from him, though. He used the Q so that then he could have access to the Calibrum, knew was coming up next, and that's what got Nuguri.
Nuguri is not here just yet. He's only just entering the jungle, so this is a window for EDG to take themselves the Drake straight on towards that target. It's going to be a 50-50 as the taunt comes in. Jiejie forced to use his ultimate solar flare in the back line. Drake so low on HP, and it will go the way of EDG. They find themselves the Drake, but they're losing the fight right now. That's one down already. Health bars low. Viper over the wall. Keep your eyes on the Korean AD carry, but he will not find a window. That's 2 picks for FPX.
Yeah, that's the big thing right there. We're gonna but TPs are coming out.
Can they stop the base? Is Tian looking for it? Scout dodges it. Viper heads back to the base himself. Scout though turns it around. Finds a window onto Tian. The Dragon's Rage. Tian in a 1v1. Scout finds it. The heal. Scout surviving, but his base is in shambles. And now the rest of FPX moving in. Viper staying strong here. Has to defend. Gets 1 kill.
Oh
looking
my
for
God.
more. EDG will not
What is going on?
die.
And Scout and Viper being the carries today, keeping this series alive. Viper's just too big. Scout is just too good, and FPX can't find their window to end the game.
And now Scout's in the perfect spot. He can move down to the bottom lane, start to get a bit more control. You have so long left on these death timers for FPX and EDG. They thought they were under pressure. They thought they were ones that were being aggressed on, but they're turning it back around.
Just doing so on EDG now, recognizing they have a window to go up towards the Baron. Death timers are still there. Nuguri having no TP as well, so should be able to keep a numbers advantage. Doesn't even matter if Jiejie's here at this point because Viper just deals so much damage.
Look at him shred through this Baron. This opportunity for EDG has been 4 years in the making. Scout could be caught here as the Baron is going to be taken down. The bomb is too late. Meiko got the Baron of all people, but EDG get it. They're tied for Soul Point. They finally are closing in on that gold lead. Let's take another look at this miracle smite from Jiejie.
I was terrified here when I saw where Viper had to position, right? He's right the way at the back. He's no real inlet into this fight. It was a great engage from Scout onto Lwx, making sure they had to flash away, but just FPX trying to bite off more than they could chew. They had won this fight. This was their time to shine, but you end up having too many people stop the recalls. Viper, crucially getting back, saves this game.
Yeah, and you're trying to stop these recalls at the point where Sylas just is such a massive threat. Very easily able to turn around onto a Lee Sin and a Leona. Now with the Baron, we're going to see some good damage able to come out from EDG. FPX do have decent wave clear, but I think now with map control, EDG are in a good place.
Especially with the Rabadon's Death Cop now completed by Lwx. He just finished at the end of that fight, so he'll be able to clear these waves pretty damn well. And unfortunately for EDG, I don't know if they're going to be able to get enough. Can they crack open the base?
There's still some work to do here for EDG, but importantly, they are in the game now. They exist. This is no longer just the story of FPX. And remember, EDG and RNG, the only 2 organizations that have multiple LPL titles, and EDG are continuing to play gatekeeper today for FPX.
And although we're having the veteran step up, we're having the new blood step up as well. Jiejie with so many crucial steals in this game.
Scout dodges the taunt on the top side here. Doinb wanted a window in, but Jiejie is here to make sure his mid laner is safe. And this is really great play from EDG, just moving around the map, taking every objective they can. Flandre and Gnar right now. But this siege can go on all day.
Yeah, they can keep going with this, but still, FPX do have a great amount of wave clear, right? We've already highlighted the Ziggs, even the GP, whether it's barrels, whether it's the cannon barrage, but TP comes out from Scout. They're doing a good job of punishing.
He's one-shotting the tower. Frost comes in, they're looking for Viper, but he survives, splashes out to the back of the plane. Meiko still going strong as the taunts coming on through the hero's entrance as well. Flandre has to turn gold on himself. They need to get onto Viper. He's 1 HP and he's taken down. FPX, they do the EDG and they refuse to die.
And it's so crucial that they were able to get onto Viper. Meiko gets taken down right away. Flandre chunked low before he's even able to turn Mega and have an impact on the fight. FPX found their window.
Somehow, some way, FPX managed to make that fight happen. And I saw this hero hook from Meiko and I thought he's safe. Watch, he predicts the play from Tian off the back of this and I think, right, that's Viper safe. But you get Nuguri coming through. You get these globals doing so much pressure and they're managed to just about find access to Viper and take him down.
Yeah, but so many members still able to close the gap. We see Doinb able to get in there as well. And with that amount of burst, with the fact that, you know, Meiko's already down, with Flandre being out of the fight, it is so big.
And look at the scoreboard right now. Nuguri is stepping up. He's doing a huge amount of the damage. He's reached that late game on the Gangplank. He's a player we've not been talking about for most of this game. But in these fights, while there's so much chaos going on, barrel after barrel, and his ult on top of it all, he is shredding through the health bar.
Especially if we have so many members of FPX diving forward, it becomes a lot easier for you to set up those barrels. Even if you're cutting back as well, you've a lot of wiggle room with this. And if we're going to fight in corridors, as EDG have, those barrels are going to get value.
Infernal Drake up in 10 seconds time. Either team, it would be the Soul. It's such a crucial Drake. This entire series can hinge on this play if EDG can take the Soul for themselves, but FPX will not go down without a fight. Fighting for mid-priority, but EDG, they don't care about mid-priority. There's an Infernal Soul to be had.
Yeah, the damage was there. FPX didn't even look to contest it. Now they need to be so afraid. Viper now going to have even more damage than before. The one silver lining for FPX if a fight breaks out is there is no flash on this Aphelios.
The Inferno map coming in clutch as well, repositioning EDG with the extra blast cones. Now they're in a position to control this mid wave as EDG look to push mid.
Viper's in a bad spot, but he walks around towards Scout here, kept safe by his solo laners. Now the engage coming on through. Infernal Soul, Moonlight Vigil comes in with the Infernum as well. There's a lot of fire going on. Phoenixes are used to that one. Now towards the mid lane, EDG could go, but the resets out from FPX.
Yeah, and both teams right now just kind of playing a little bit of chicken, trying to force FPX able to get away. Surprised EDG not willing to push for more, but maybe a bit more gold in their pockets, able to go off on some backs. Viper has been full build for quite a while now, so going to be interesting to see with FPX coming out onto the map. Again, they don't have that same level of control. They don't have the ability to get vision down first, let EDG's composition walk into them, which is what they would hope to do.
And I feel like we have a quick second to breathe, because we are going to be looking at this Baron that's going to be coming up in just a few moments. Both teams going to be battling it out to try and get control over that area. At least FPX with the quicker resets can move into River first and try and get that vision you were talking about.
Yeah, we're going to see here, right? Baron, not on the cards yet, might be on soon, but again, just surprising both teams kind of slowing it down. We do see EDG getting their side waves in order. Flandre just pushing out that top wave. Bot wave was already pushing. So now FPX going to be on the team on the back foot that has to respond, but it looks like both teams happy to wait out for the next Baron.
Yeah, we still have 45 seconds until that Baron will come up here. And I want to just quickly mention that Viper has been here before. He's been to finals. He was in the LCK finals 2 splits in a row on Griffin, and he was denied 2 splits in a row by SKT. And now on EDG, the team that literally beat SKT in the finals of MSI, this is his opportunity. He's stepped up massively as a player. He's had maybe the split of his life, certainly the best individual AD carry in our league. And we'll see if he can step up when it matters the most.
And it has been that slow rebuild for EDG. 2017, the last time they won a championship. 2019, 2020, they missed out on Worlds, and now they stand poised 1 game away from victory.
Yeah, very close for them. EDG, again, we never thought that they'd be in this position doing so well. But as you hit on early in the series, Dagda, these were our 2 most dominant teams of the split, pretty much first and second in every category.
Oh, Scout's been found here. Solarfly comes on through as well, but he's still all right. But basically not taking any damage, to be quite honest. Cannon Barrage available, used already. Doinb, flash away from the Everfrost here. Meiko forced out on the backside of the fight as well. A lot of abilities used for not much right now as Viper. He's just walking a 1v4 and he's winning it. What is this guy made of right here? Moonlight Vigil flashed away from by Nuguri. EDG by themselves the inside track to Baron.
And I like the idea coming through from Viper. You had used so many of those abilities from FPX, but now EDG are on the back foot. Scout will be looking for an ability to steal here.
Yeah, Ziggs bomb does come out though. The damage is there. FPX in a pretty decent position.
FPX on the wrong side of the rift here, crucially as well. Flandre about to turn into that Mega Gnar. This has to be the steal from Tian. Can he make the impossible possible? Scout trying to move on in. Tian jumps into the pit, but he's already gone down. The Baron taken by EDG, and they look for the fight as well. Doinb will fall in the midst of enemies, and EDG push forward.
EDG go for the aggressive play. They find the pick. TPs are coming out
Viper
to the end.
flashes forwards again. He cannot be stopped now. The last ditch effort from FPX, but they're outnumbered. They don't have the damage. They are taken down.
And it's all done for FPX. EDG have done it. They've taken down the Phoenix.
1,462 days since the last time that EDG won a finals. The faithful are rewarded again. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire, and this blaze has been extinguished.
2017 summer, the last time EDG won an LPL championship. This was the dynasty team of the LPL. Again, this is the old guard finally able to rebuild, come back with a stronger roster, and take down such a heavy favorite in FPX.
And it took everything. They